let me just take you all on a little tour of my toy room, my little slice of heaven or paradise, if you will. Show you how I've got some things displayed, show you what I've got up, and just let you see what I'm working with. What's up, beautiful people? Thank you for joining me on another episode of Buy That Toy Talk. It's your boy Marquise, and I appreciate you for stopping in. Hey, real quick, this is something that I've been wanting to do. I'm thinking about rearranging my room and doing a couple of things, so I decided before I do that, I'll tell you right now, there are some flaws in my setup and some things that I definitely want to get better, things that I just didn't think about, a lack of lighting in some places, some things being hidden, maybe the wrong type of shelving for the room. But we'll work all of that out in time. But let me just take you on a tour. Check out my room over here at Buy That Toy. And I'll check back in with you real soon. All right, peace. So on the toy room tour, we have to start with what started it all for me. And that's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. As you can see, I've got a hodgepodge of various lines of turtles, just figures that I like. From old school guys to some of the new best action stuff to even Super 7. There are things from every era here on this particular shelf. Even my Super 7s back there in the back. You can see just some of my favorite figs. I can tell you this much, turtles are where my heart truly lies at, and I like them all. I'm definitely gonna have to create some more space for turtles, get some more play sets, and set some different things up. The Mutant Mayhem playset is certainly fun and beautiful to look at, but I need a Technodrome and an old school turtle play lair. Now this shelf right here is the first of my McFarlane shelves, and this one focuses mainly on DC. You can see that I've got several Red Hoods, as he's one of my favorite DC characters of all time. And then there's my boy Bloodsport from the movie Suicide Squad, another Red Hood and Mr. Freeze, and even The Rock as Shazam. Man-Bat hanging out in the background, and Lobo. Bane also. These are just some of the McFarlane DC figs that I've been able to pull out. There are several of them that I really love and enjoy, and I actually have some still in box that I have yet to display. But on my shelf right now, this is what you see. I've only got one shelf dedicated to DC McFarlane, and I'll probably rotate some things in and out, but this is what we got right now. This shelf has easily become my favorite shelf in my room, and probably the reason that I'm going to be redesigning and doing the layout of my toy room a little bit different. This is my nostalgia shelf, if you will. Up front, there are several Toxic Crusaders with some of their weapons, and even the Toxic Crusader bike, Toxie, the skateboard with Headbanger, and an old school Street Shark or two. Of course, we've got Slash that's incomplete. And then we've got, what's his name? Slopster, I believe. Streaks back there. Just a couple of old school action figures with the Battle Beast and all of that. Z-Bots, if you remember those. These are just figures that I really love from my childhood. Some modern versions of action figures like Ken and Chun-Li in the background, Dalzeen, and even a Shockwave with some other Transformers. Oh, can't forget about Turbo Two-Tone over there from Cops. This is just a hodgepodge shelf for me with Bartman in the front. Just some of my favorite action figures and things that I really enjoy. From the 80s and 90s, Exo Squad and all kinds of stuff, and newer figs, but I want more of this stuff on display in my room, so I'm probably going to be changing the layout real soon. This shelf right here is just a shelf for some Funko Pops. I don't do too many Funkos, but I love Venom and Venomverse. So a lot of this stuff is Spider-Man and Venom specific. There are rows going back, and I just switch them around every now and then just to get a new look and feel. Tell you something interesting. When I started collecting, I had no intentions of going too big into Masters of the Universe or Transformers or anything, and I don't plan on doing a whole lot of Transformers. But Masters of the Universe and some of the Mattelverse and all the Masterverse stuff that's coming out, I just like the figures. From Sun Man, of course, the representation story with Sun Man, and even how they brought King Grayskull into the mix. Andrea over here, just some figures that I just loved with Whiplash and Beastman back there. These are just some guys that I had to have, and then I threw a couple of Transformers on the shelf, and I just like the way it looks and feels. So this is my He-Man shelf, or one of my He-Man shelves. Who would have ever thunk that I would have had more than one? But these are some figures that I definitely really like. Now up top over here, we've got another shelf that's completely dedicated to X-Men or X-Teams and X-Villains. A lot of these figs are older figs, but they're ones that were cool representations from what I thought. Maggot is probably one of my favorite newer figures that's come out. I just think that he looks really cool. You can pretty much find him on sale anywhere. And over here, you've got some of the X-Men 97 teams. Reminds me of the original cartoon. That Bishop is one that I find very fun and enjoyable, and that Gambit is awesome. Chamber and Toad and some other guys hanging up out front, and even Deadpool in his X-Men regalia, if you will. Sabretooth, my main man over here in the back. Let's see if we can get him in focus. Yeah, that's a great one from the 2-pack with Logan. And a couple of the VHS boxes back there in the back. This right here is the X-Men shelf for now. We'll definitely be adding more figures to it lately. Or soon, I should say. Probably my favorite modern toy line to collect is G.I. Joe Classifieds. These figures look amazing. What they've done with the detail in the various lines, the accessories that you get with each one of the figures, all of the stuff that's just available for us to enjoy, and how much they put into this particular line is amazing. I love collecting the classified line. While I don't have every figure, there are a lot of them that I really enjoy. There are figures that I purchased that I didn't even know I would like as much as I do, and they're so much fun to just pose and look at. My boy Stalker up here is easily one of my favorite purchases, and I had no idea I would like him the way that I do. G.I. Joe and Hasbro has done a phenomenal job with recreating the original figures that we like and love and giving them so much more detail. If you haven't started this line, man, you have got to check it out. The Classifieds, by far, one of my favorite modern, readily available toy lines. So we gotta shout out my boy Peter Parker and his Rogues Gallery. I personally think between him and Batman, he's got one of the best Rogues Galleries on the planet. This is my Spider-Man shelf, and a lot of Spider-Man themed villains and heroes and just stuff that I felt like went with the shelf. Of course, Ghost Rider is back there as the oddball, but we just put him on the shelf along with Joe Fixit. But we've got more to add to this shelf and a little more to do. But yeah, this is definitely my man Spider-Man. Check out the Superior Spider-Man. If you don't have that figure, you gotta grab him. Ben Reilly, Scarlet Spider, that's another dope one. And the CT Toys Revoltech Agent Anti-Venom and Agent Venom. Those are some of the best figures on the market. If they're still available for $20, I would pick them up in a heartbeat. This shelf right here I'm struggling with. For the most part, this is my Spawn McFarlane shelf, but you can't even see the guys in the back. Of course, I've got a couple of Ghostbusters ghosts sitting on the shelf, and I really like those guys, but ultimately this shelf is about McFarlane toys and Spawn. So I've got to rearrange the room a little bit, figure out how I want to get these things on display. But this is my McFarlane shelf dedicated to Spawn, his villains, some Warhammer stuff, and a couple other things. And finally, from the big shelf, we've got the Avengers and Avengers adjacent style villains and heroes. Big boys like Adaptoid and what's his name, the Destroyer in the back. Just a couple of guys hanging out around here in the front. Just some various figs that I think fit that universe for the most part. This is just a cool little catch-all shelf for my Marvel heroes and things of that nature. Of course, I've got to have T'Challa and Killmonger hanging out at the front. I know they re-released this Eric Killmonger, but it seemed like the paint was just updated, so I felt no need to buy that new sculpt. But yeah, this is the Avengers shelf. And then down here on the ground, just hanging out in front, we got a couple of other G.I. Joe figs riding the boat. I believe that's, what's her name? Is that Scarlet, Roadblock, and Shipwreck? Picked up this boat from Ollie's. At one point in time, it was like 10, 15 bucks, but it just hangs out. I had it on the shelf, but it took up way too much space. So yeah, there you go. Those are the big boy shelves that I've got in the room. Let's look at the smaller shelves. So we'll start over here by my window. This shelf has become a bit of a catch-all, and every now and then I'll do maybe a review or something on top of this shelf. But Cosmic Legion figures, a couple of Ninja Turtles that didn't fit up there, some Super 7 Toxic Crusaders, and even the Street Fighter Karate Chopper box. I just like that box, but it's gonna have to get put up. Some of my Nacelle-verse stuff with the Biker Mice, and then the, what are those? Barnyard Commandos that have been revamped. I mean, everything is on this, from statues, from Yu Yu Hakusho, to some Legos that I've done. This shelf was actually supposed to be where I came and just hung out and built Legos that I decided I wanted to put up. But it's just starting to be a catch-all shelf. The real big thing that I'm noticing about toy collecting is that you run out of room very fast. And I'm sure you guys are experiencing the same thing. So got to figure out what I want to do, but these are definitely some fixes. And right underneath that shelf is my Turtles of Grayskull and some more He-Man retro carded stuff. None of this stuff is the old school stuff from the 80s. It's new stuff that's come out. I'm struggling with whether or not to open these up because I really like the look and feel of these in package and in box. I do want some of these figures loose, but I just don't know if I can bring myself to open them. They look so amazing to me. I just got to have them all in their boxes. I just like looking at them on card and all of that stuff. So those are these guys. On the floor, we've also got the Robo Force, re-releases from a nacelle. These things are very difficult to keep standing up because they have suction cups underneath them. And I've tried the little trick by putting stands underneath them, but eventually they lose their grip. And there's another Robo Force fig as well. Right here is a Lego that I've been working on, so we got to finish that up soon. I'll get that bad boy up and going real soon. And finally, as it stands right now, this is my shelving space where I take a lot of my pictures and just try to record stuff that I'm putting online. This is also like the staging area where I have different things that I'm selling on eBay and different things like that. Stuff that I'm ready to open that I haven't quite opened, that I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with. Different things that I want to use, accessories for photography, bins for accessories, and just figures that haven't been opened and gone through, boxes that I'm gonna keep. So this particular shelf right here was supposed to be another Lego shelf where I put stuff and displayed stuff, but some of this stuff has got to get put up in bins because I want my space to display stuff that I actually want out there. Now, I've still got some empty space on my walls, but I want to go through some of the figs that I've got carded. Of course, my original 4 Turtles. Those guys, naturally, they're the re-releases. I don't have the old 10 backs on card, but I've got to have the original 4. The Spider-Man Tombstone, and then that Danny Ketch Ghost Rider is the Marvel Legends. The Danny Ketch is the Ghost Rider, that's the Marvel Legends that came out a couple of years ago. Tombstone, retro card, old school, like 96, 95, something like that. A couple of older figs, just on card. Again, like I said, I love old school carded figures, the artwork, the way that they look. My section of Venoms, they reused the same sculpt about 1 million times on Venom. These 2 guys are the same. Those 2 are the same. I just love Venom, man. He's just my guy. So yeah, then those Batman figures from back in the day, the cars just look dope. The Generation X figs, I got these guys in a lot. Never really particularly loved that comic book line, but whatever. I just liked them because they were carded. And then the re-release Ghostbusters. Had to get them, man. Had to get them. Same thing, Leech, and Snout Smout. So I'm just gonna turn over here. We'll go back up the wall. So those are some of the Funko DC Primal Age figures that came out. Bought those guys in a lot. Loved them. Bishop, Sergeant Savage. I don't remember this from back in the day, but when I found this and it had the cassette tape, I just had to get it because it had a cassette tape. The guy only wanted like $5 for it, and I just wanted it just because I thought it looked cool. So yeah, had to buy it. More Sergeant Savage, retro carded Rocksteady and Bebop re-releases. Okay, I'm tilting the camera. I should be on something taller, but I'm not gonna do it. So this is the new Venom that just came out. A lot of people like this figure. Then I heard some people complaining about it. I just can't bring myself to open it because I love the way it looks on card. And it goes so well with this image that I found. I think I found that in the Ross one day. And with the Carnage beside it. So yeah, kept keeping those guys on card. So right over here, I am a bit of a follower, right? When I heard Pixel Dan talking about Shadow Ninjas and Ninja Force, I was like, yes, that's what I remember. I remembered the pink cards from G.I. Joe, but I couldn't remember what they were called. Now, I'd been having one or two of them uncarded, couldn't remember what they were called, just thought that they looked cool. But when he said Ninja Force, it just reminded me like, I've got to get a couple of those guys. So I love them. This is just the quintessential 90s stuff for me. Shadow Force, Ninja Force, it just makes me think about being a kid. So yeah, that's the re-release Toxie. Again, it just looks wonderful on card, in the bubble. It's just something that you gotta love to keep. And over here, we've got a couple other things that I'm just keeping for artwork. I just like the way that they look. Bot Masters, I don't know if you remember that show, but that was great. The Dr. Kill 'Em Off, just more fun stuff. Re-release Street Sharks. I don't know if you guys have started collecting that line or not yet, but I've got a couple of these guys, and of course you might see them in my videos over here on the shelf and things like that. But I love them. Once again, they did a great job with the packaging and what they're doing. So it's hard to bring yourself to open those guys because it just reminds me of everything from back in the day. And so we'll pan right over here and the last little bit of stuff that I got on the wall. Oh, let's come back in focus. There we go. My mom got me this Avengers poster thing for Christmas. Loved it. A couple other things that we just keep on the wall, just keeping them in their bubble. This was a custom piece that I had somebody do for me with some of my favorite characters that I thought was real cool. And then right here is where, you know, keep my little TV for a little entertainment. Little He-Man's on the tube right now. This shelf right here, some cards that I love that I just picked up. I used to collect comic cards. Every now and then I'll pick up some foils or holograms that I think look cool. And of course, you know, Todd throws in a card with a lot of his figures. The New Mutant Mayhem playset, them in a little buzz. I thought that this was dope. I had a coupon or something at Target, so I bought that, leaving those in card. And then the last Ronin figures. So I'm missing Raphael. There's Donatello, Michelangelo, the Wanderer, and Leonardo. I got to get Raphael to stand up here with the Triceraton. Not that he has anything to do with the last Ronin line, but I need that. And beneath that, we got a couple of the re-release carded figs from back in the day. Just some things that I just like, man. I don't know if I'm gonna try to get them all uncarded, you know, retro. But hey, I like these things, so they look good on my shelf. And for me, the last little section that I have in the room right now that's got stuff up is this wall right here with a couple of Venom posters, some of my NECA Predator and Alien stuff, another Venom art wall piece that I got for Father's Day, and then King Spawn chilling up in the corner. So yeah, we've got some more wall space that we can use. There's some different things that we can do, but that's the room so far. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the tour. Again, this is just my little slice of the pie, my little slice of paradise, if you will. Just what I've got up on the walls and displayed and everything like that for right now. we'll be making changes and doing things throughout the year. But I wanted to see where you were at as we kick off 2025 for a full year of Buy That Toy. And I hope you like, comment, and subscribe, man. Let me know what you think about the room. If you got any suggestions of things that I can do, man, comment down below. Remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, all of that stuff. Like us over here on IG. Follow us over there. Keep up with us on YouTube. Subscribe. Man, I'm grateful for you guys checking us out, enjoying it. Man, let's keep it going, man. Until next time, peace.